Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Today's guest is Michael Laidler. He helps business leaders unlock their potential by assisting them with their leadership and communication development. Michael is a leadership coach, certified trainer, and keynote speaker. He is certified with the John Maxwell Team, facilitating numerous mastermind groups, providing one-on-one leadership coaching, and hosting leadership development workshops. Ultimately, he's on a mission to help business frontrunners and provide the leadership tools and innovative strategies that are basically needed to pave their way to monumental success. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Michael Laidler to the show. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I love it. So I'm the type of girl who likes to get right down to business. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your business experience?
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. Shortly after I graduated high school, I went to Florida State University, the Seminoles, where I obtained a Bachelor's of Arts in Business and Spanish. While attending Florida State University, I became a police officer, and that began my journey in leadership. I was a field training officer. I worked multiple shifts, multiple people. I really learned a lot as a 19-year-old, barely out of high school. Shortly after my time being a police officer, I decided, you know what, I want more of a challenge. And I became a Border Patrol agent with the federal government in Laredo, Texas. There, I became a canine handler, went a little bit more into leadership, not as much as I did when I was a police officer, but it gave me a much more understanding of where I needed to go. During that time, I enrolled in a master's program at Morehead State University. And I decided, you know what, I need to get my master's in business administration to help my leadership development. And then I had my son in Laredo, Texas. And I decided, you know what, I need to be back home. I need to be back in Florida. And I acquired a job with the Federal Bureau of Prisons as a correctional officer. Once I moved back to Florida, I was in my last year of my master's program. And that was the first time that I actually had a dedicated course to leadership. And in that one course, it taught me so much of what I didn't know, what I wanted to know, and what I needed to know. Once I graduated, I decided I need to increase my leadership. After about 2 years with the Federal Bureau of Prisons in Florida, I was promoted as a lieutenant to Louisiana. And there is where it hit me. This is where I actually realized I knew nothing about leadership. I was in charge of people. I was required to lead them, but I didn't have the required tools to make them successful. I realized I needed to increase my skills, my development, in order to maximize everybody else's potential. During my time as lieutenant, I joined the local Toastmasters Club, which taught me about leadership and communication, but I was still looking for a little bit more. Then I had a few friends, a few associates that learned about the John Maxwell Team. They kind of explained to me what it was and what the program was about, but I wasn't really sure if it was for me. And then in 2017, I actually joined the John Maxwell Team and became a certified trainer, coach, and speaker. And that's when it really opened up for me. That's where my eyes, my growth, my development really took a big push. And shortly thereafter, in September 2017, is when I decided, you know what, open a business where I can help leaders like myself grow, help them develop the skills that they may not know that they need, but once they have it, they realize the big difference that they get.
I love the fact of where you started off as an officer and then went into the prisons. So obviously you were leading already, but what made you switch gears to become a business coach?
In my time as a law enforcement officer and a business owner, I realized there were a lot of holes in my life. I experienced setbacks in both my professional and personal life. I experienced unfocused growth in both my professional and personal life. I experienced the feeling of being lost in both my professional and personal life. And I became very tired of all these extra losses. Once I realized these holes could be filled quicker through coaching, I discovered my calling. I discovered that hole that needed to be filled. I realized coaching is one of the most dominant ways to diminish those setbacks, unfocused growth, and feeling lost experiences. I wanted to make a difference in lives, not only in others, but my life as well. One of the things many people do not realize is that coaching is beneficial to two people. It is beneficial to the participant as well as the coach. The participant unlocks his potential from coaching, while the coach receives an intrinsic reward by helping unlock the potential in his clients. And of course, that's a financial reward. For me, coaching has been the best way I can give back to others. I've had the privilege to give back what was given to me. Without feeding into others' growth, I feel like we waste our time and the knowledge that we have between our ears.
Makes sense. So you help business frontrunners who are hungry to develop their leadership skills, but don't necessarily know how to do it. So what do you look for in a client that fits your criteria as a coach?
In my life experience, I discovered that many people are not consistently trained to become better leaders until they reach a top-notch executive position in an organization. I've asked myself these questions when I think about business frontrunners. What happens to all the people between those levels of leadership? What happens to organizations when they fail to train their first-line leaders and middle management? All of these people miss an opportunity because their development is overlooked. I look for clients who are missing the necessary leadership development to take themselves and their organization to the next level. I look for clients who realize they need more, but were never offered anything. After speaking with people across the country in various fields, it is very common for them to want more leadership, but feel they do not have enough time to do it. And they believe they don't have enough money as well. I want them to know there's always time to work on yourself and grow towards your own goals. There's always more to learn. There's always more space to flourish.
And you kind of help them, guide them through to figure out where that time is or where that time comes from and how to make it a priority, correct?
Absolutely.
So what do you find that are some common problems that your clients need help with? I mean, I would assume that there's, some common denominators there. So can you go through that with me?
Yes. On the short end, I discover most clients need the most help with time management and goal development. Most clients do not take enough time in their day to consistently develop themselves in order to make their organization better. And that starts with time management and planning. Most clients are going day to day without an organized and accountable plan in place. The other problem I see most is goal development. I do believe it's part of time management, but it has to be emphasized on its own. Typically, when I meet people, I'll ask them this question. What is your 6-month plan for personal growth? Out of 100 people, 90 of them will not be able to answer the question. Most of them pause because they never thought of it or have goals that are unmeasured or unspecified. Most people never develop SMART goals. As John Maxwell writes in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, a SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and has a time limit on it. Goals that fit in this category are reached. Being a leader or trying to become a leader without goals that are developed is a big limitation to personal development.
No, that totally makes sense. It's interesting how many leaders fall into the same categories. So tell me this, you're asking them these questions. What type of programs do you offer to help these leaders unlock their success and get past these?
I provide one-on-one coaching where me and my client will sit down and we'll come up on a powerful and accountable plan to reach their success. During these coaching sessions, it's about understanding the client, understanding what they need from their perspective. I'm not giving them my perspective. I'm helping them find theirs. From that point forward, I help them stretch themselves. I help them go beyond what they ever thought they could. And one of the things, as being a certified John Maxwell coach, I've learned to see what they're going through now and what's ahead of them. I have a vision within myself to know that they're going to be great. And that's because coaching is foreseeing, paving the way, and coming along the side with that person, that client, while helping them achieve their goals and overcoming limiting paradigms. Another service I offer are group leadership trainings, also known as mastermind groups. These groups are facilitated by me, usually no more than 10 people at a time, where we brainstorm, we learn about leadership skills, we develop leadership skills, we become accountable with each other, and we become supportive in an environment that's going to help you sharpen your business and personal skills. The people in these groups are leaders. They're individuals that are entrepreneurs. They want to see each other succeed. And I do go through a screening process with these individuals because I pick their brain. I try to learn about who they are before they get in those groups to make sure they are a fit for everybody. Because I want to see people succeed, and I want to see them grow past further than what they thought they could, especially without me. A few of the benefits of a mastermind group is that it usually gives you a support network. I mean, you have 10 people, whether it's in your organization or people from across the country, helping you brainstorm, helping you work through some of the leadership challenges, helping you add to your leadership skills. You're able to borrow these experiences from other people and apply them to your life, apply them to what you need. You receive critical insight, you receive information on the certain techniques that they've used that has been successful for them, rather wondering, does this work? You know what? In the mastermind groups, you know it's worked because someone else says it has worked. And then on top of that, you get a family environment is created because you realize there's other people out there that have had challenges in their lives, in their leadership. And you see this is not you by yourself. A third service I offer are leadership trainings, which are half-day workshops where I go to organizations or I host them and I allow people to come and help work on team communication and create bigger relationships with other organizations around the environment. All these services can and are done either virtual or in person. And then out of everything, the best way I've found that helps me reach the most people are keynote speeches. These speeches are designed for what the organization needs, what the community needs at the time. If required or asked to base a training on goal setting, I can do that. If it's based on time management, I can do that. It's what suits the needs of the organization. And I know that each person needs something different. I know that I can provide them what they need as long as they tell me what they need.
So here's my question. Do you find that either one-on-one or Keynote or masterminds, do you find any one of those to be more effective than the other?
It depends on the individual. For the clients that I target, coaching tends to be the best because it's one-on-one. It allows people to be coached by individuals that's not at the organization. When I have clients that are not attached to an organization, they prefer that because it's like, okay, you have a person such as myself, a coach, another leader who's trying to help you progress, who's trying to help you get past whatever roadblocks or whatever goals you have ahead of you. Coaching provides a one-on-one interaction that really gets personal and helps people show that, you know what, I'm not by myself. Some people find it as a positive soundboard, someone that can reinforce and help you out. Now, when I go to organizations, I realize that mastermind groups are a little bit more effective at organizations. And that's because it gathers people around. It establishes and it creates a stronger relationship among the members themselves. I've discovered a few of the mastermind groups that I have held, people didn't realize how much respect they had for each other because they just never sat and talked about that. A lot of their meetings are based on what tasks are done or what projects have to be purchased versus respect, courage, loyalty, the things that we sometimes overlook as soft skills, but then realize that we need because that's how we function together as a group. And when I'm just trying to expose some of the information that I have, that's where my keynote speaking comes in. I think that's most effective for multiple organizations, different groups of people who are trying to understand or get a basic understanding of leadership. It also is a good refresher. For example, one of the events that I host and have hosted is Live to Lead. In those events, people are leaders in organizations. That half-day workshop was just a little refresher of some of the concepts that they haven't thought about. I've had people range from the ages of mid-20s to their 60s, people in their 60s telling me that they've never thought or they've never reconsidered leadership. They assumed or thought that they knew everything. They come to one of these half-day workshops, one of these keynote speeches, and it just kind of relights the fire that's in their brain and in their mind.
Okay. How do you think your past life and business experience plays into your coaching process?
I feel the best way to help others is to be realistic. I capitalize on my experience that I have in order to minimize the chances of my clients going through it. I'm a big proponent of learning through other people's experiences in order to avoid that headache. Since I've been mostly in law enforcement most of my career, I've dealt with many situations involving many people. And as any business owner, business leader, business entrepreneur knows, or should know, companies are run by people, not machines or tasks. I use my past experience in law enforcement to maintain an open and flexible mindset when dealing with people. It is easy for me to be open-minded when I know people can change, especially when it's changed for the best. My past experience with my business has offered me insight to people in multiple fields. Due to the nature of my business, I speak with many people from different backgrounds, different walks of life. They all have different stories, but they all have the common goal of leadership development. The more I gain from them, the more I've been able to pass on to others. I'm able to go from a law enforcement sector to a nursing sector or to a small business owner section, just because of all the different types of people I've already talked to and have had as clients in this business. And I combine all these experiences for a well-rounded plan for my clients. And I bring them both diversity and resiliency in these areas.
You've had a pretty versatile bringing up. I mean, do you think that plays into how you work with your clients?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Having a versatile background plays a big, big factor in helping others. The more we know about different people, the better we can lead. We know that people that we lead are all different. Everyone is different, and it takes a person who has dealt with a variety of people to know that. I can associate with many groups of people with social ease. From the day I was born up to today, up to this point in my life, I've strived on understanding all types of people. In leadership development, a leader has to know how to connect with anyone at any time. And I know that I've met this criteria because of my versatile background.
So why do you think your coaching process works?
I know it works for one simple reason. It worked and continues to work for me. If I did not utilize coaching, I would not believe it was beneficial. And I would not be here today speaking about it. I would not understand the benefits behind it. Coaching has taken me beyond and above my previously set goals. Prior to coaching, my goals were minimum and did not stretch me to become better. Once I began the process of coaching, my development increased exponentially. A coach is here to help you develop your own goals. A coach does not give you your goals. A coach does not give you goals because you already know what you need and what you want to do. As a coach, I help you unlock these goals you have deep inside your subconscious. I help you achieve more because I believe you can achieve more. That's the role of a coach, and that is my role. And that's why I believe my coaching process can work. It's because it's worked for me, and I know I can carry out the same knowledge and abilities that was given to me in the past.
You mentioned about setting expectations that are actually realistic. How important is that to your coaching process, and is it different for each client?
Realistic expectations are one of the most important things you can do to develop your personal and professional growth. Any other expectation is a fantasy and a waste of your time. In my coaching process, expectations are set from the beginning. I send out a questionnaire which has you thinking about your expectations before we even connect. If you're going to invest your time and money with me, I want you to be fully invested in the process. I don't want you coming to any session without some form of preparation. Preparation is the key to your success and will help you set realistic expectations during the coaching process. My coaching expectations are no different for any of my clients. I want each of them to be able to have expectations that would be exceeded as my client. However, the client's expectation to him or herself may be different. Each client has to determine how much they want in order to know how much they will receive. When they ask me, I will always want more out of them because I know that they are worth more. I know they're special. I know that they can achieve more and more each day with each goal. My clients are sometimes surprised when we talk about expectations. They're surprised because of how much I care for them from the beginning. I take the same approach throughout the coaching process, and it does pay dividends for my clients.
So how long do you work with your clients?
When it comes to any coaching service, I tell my clients I prefer to work with them for at least 6 months, a minimum of 6 months. I use that duration of time as a benchmark for their progression. No one becomes better overnight. No one. It takes time to accomplish your goals and see if you're moving in the right direction. I've heard it to be longer than that because people's goals change over time. But I know at least 6 months is a minimum, a foundation of what we need to do in order to help them accomplish their goals. I want them to know that life does not stop after one goal. It takes goal after goal to become significant. When it comes to my group leadership trainings, the mastermind groups, the trainings are based on the curriculum that is being presented. They vary from 4 to 26 weeks, depending on the curriculum. Once again, the more time I have with my clients, the more they have time in the community, the more time they have in these group settings, the more I can track their progression, provide them with real-time accountability, and the more they can develop relationships with other people. When I package all of my services together, the one-on-one coaching, group leadership trainings, workshops, keynote speaking, and leadership assessments, I recommend an entire year for an organization. Depending on the size of the organization, it may vary, but it gives me the opportunity to connect and develop multiple leaders in the organization. It's very unrealistic to develop an entire organization with all of my service in less than 6 months. A year and beyond is ideal in targeting leaders from different levels in any organization.
Okay. So how do you know the process is actually working in that 6 months?
I know the process is working because the discoveries made by the client. The goals and expectations that the clients create are completed. They will express their newfound passion, their unlocked potential, and their increased push to significance. People like to be successful at what they do. When they know they can tell it to another person who has helped them to that point, they prefer to do it, and they actually enjoy it. You see a different glow on them when they're able to say, you know what, I accomplished my goals because you were here to help me. In addition, organizations discover more satisfied, and the employees will show their gratitude by increasing their own production, fulfilling the organization's mission, and remaining with the organization because they added value to them. The return on investment is different for each person and expressed at different times, but it's a lot greater when you see the process working, because a lot of times they'll attribute to the process saying, you know what, I never thought about how much growth can help me achieve this goal in 3 months versus 6 months, or aim for this promotion in 6 months rather than 2 or 3 years. It's just the overall growth that's created from the process.
So what sets you aside from other coaches in the industry? Because to be honest, it's a very saturated market. So what makes you so different?
My life experience, drive, and willingness to continue learning is what sets me apart from other coaches. I can speak truth for myself when I say I've dealt with people from all walks of life, and I can empathize with them. I bring a passion to help them draw the best out of themselves. I coach and train leaders because I enjoy leadership. I coach and train because I love adding value to people. I know the importance of leadership because I've done it on different levels, whether it's from the time when I was a police officer in Tallahassee, to my time as a lieutenant, to my time as a business owner. I've had many and multiple different aspects of my life that has increased my leadership development. My drive is what made me enter the field of coaching and training. It was a drive to push myself, which turned into me pushing others. My willingness to continue learning is a major factor in successful leadership. A leader who stops learning does no good to his followers. I understand that theory and do not intend on stopping anytime soon. I'm a coach and a trainer who is driven for the success of others because I know I cannot be successful without them. I want to use the concepts like transformational and transactional leadership to drive and use the potential of others to achieve the fullest potential that they have.
Okay, so can you maybe clear up some myths or misconceptions on why people, what they have about hiring a coach? It's either one reason or another that they either think it's a good thing or a bad thing. Can you clear up some of those misconceptions?
Yes. One misconception I've encountered is people believe they can do it by themselves. They believe they can unlock their potential on their own. They believe that no one can help them to become better. I tell all of them they're wrong. Really, I really tell them that when I talk to them, which actually surprises them. I'd be telling a lie if I would say I was not that person at one point. Although I had been fairly successful in my career, there was more left on the plate that I now realize that I've missed. And once I was coached and began coaching, participating in leadership development, participating in group trainings, keynote speeches, I quickly realized all the opportunities I missed was because I thought I could do it on my own. I was lost before coaching, and now I've discovered through coaching and leadership development, I've gone further than I can even imagine. Another misconception is leaders are born, not made. This is far from the truth. While some people do have some natural leadership qualities than others, everyone needs assistance in the area of leadership development. If you're one of those people who think that you're a natural leader, you more than likely had some type of training. Whether it's formal or informal, there was some type of training involved. Most of the people, when they see natural leaders, they're really seeing a person who has invested the time and money into their personal and professional growth. They're typically seeing the finished product rather than the raw one. A third misconception is someone else will train you. If you're an aspiring leader and waiting for someone to invest in you, whether it's money or time, you're slowing down your progression and ability to be effective. A leader is one who gets out in front of the crowd on his own or her own. He does not wait for someone to tell him or her what to do, because at that point, they're a follower. They're waiting for someone else to push them along. A fourth misconception is a leader will only learn through experience. While it is necessary for a leader to have life experience to become a great leader, he still needs to spend time investing in the study of leadership. How does one know if your experience is worth it? You will not know unless you analyze your experiences. And that understanding of how to analyze comes through studying leadership as well as practicing to become the best leader. A fifth misconception is coaching is the same as counseling and therapy. While there are similarities in the field, the coaching process takes a different approach to development. It is a relationship that's dominated by the client. The coach is there to develop your needs. Usually, in my case, the leadership and communication side of it. But we're not there. I'm not there to impose my experiences to change you. It's a process where I draw information out of you to help you succeed.
So if you had one piece of advice for a business leader that is, not meeting their full potential, really not growing, what would that be?
I would tell a leader to invest in himself. Stop everything he's doing right now and invest in his development. Get a coach. Get in leadership training. Go attend some leadership conferences, workshops, whatever, to invest in yourself. And figure out what he or she is missing. It may take 6 months to realize it, or it may take 5 years, but that business leader will see a better progression and self-realization when they're participating in some form of leadership development. I tell business leaders that in order to get that development, they have to have some margin in their schedule for personal growth. Just because he or she is busy, it does not mean he or she cannot be significant. And doesn't mean that they are being significant because they are busy. I know it's easy to have a full calendar. Many of us do. However, it does not always equal sustainable production or growth.
True. I have one more question, and it's obviously the most important for any business owner out there that's looking for your services. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how would they go about doing that?
I have several ways for people to contact me. My webpage is www.michaelaidlaidler.com. My email address is michael@michaelaidlaidler.com. My LinkedIn account is www.linkedin.com/Michael Laidler. My Facebook page is www.facebook.com Michael Laidler Leadership. And my Instagram account is www.instagram.com/Michael Laidler. I also have a YouTube account, which is being developed and being built up as we speak. If you do go to my webpage, I do have an email sign-up list for people if they want to hear more about future offers and keep up to date with my videos and articles.
Okay, Michael, well, I really appreciate your time today in this interview. I love how you came from the police side of things and then into working into the jails, and how much experience that must have brought you at just dealing with all walks of life. Definitely, I would think, has a great impact on working with entrepreneurs and sales teams because you're used to, adapting. And I thought this interview is very insightful. I think that anybody who's thinking that they need a coach or a company needs somebody to come in and kind of bring things to the next level, that you're an excellent choice for it. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me, and it was definitely an honor and a great experience to be on here with you.
All right, guys, this is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.